Tonight, what I'm going to be featuring this evening, I'm doing a seared French breast of chicken. It's going to be served cocoa bean style. It's going to be served over fingerling potatoes, a red mushroom stew of fingerling potatoes, roasted shallots, and wild mushrooms. First, I'm going to start. I'm getting the pan hot right now. Keeping your pan hot is definitely essential in the dishes in order to get a proper sear on the chicken. And a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Just grabbing a pair of tongs right now. Adding a little olive oil to the pan. I'm going to let the pan get a little bit warmer. Almost to the point where it's smoking, but not quite. I don't want the pan to be quite that hot, but I do want it to be nice and hot. You want to hear that nice sizzle as soon as the chicken hits the pan. This is a nice and easy one-pan dish. One pan pretty much take care of it all. See, that's what I'm looking for, a nice little sizzle as soon as that pan hits. I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but I can definitely hear it right here. It starts skin side down. I'm going to let it cook for a minute until the skin gets nice and crisp, and then I'm going to flip it over onto the other side. While the skin is searing, what I'm going to do is I have some nice fresh shallots here. And I'm going to take the shallots and put the shallots into the pan. And we want the shallots to cook along with the chicken. And what's going to happen, the shallots are going to get nice and brown and crisp, and they're going to caramelize as the chicken cooks in the pan. It's a great dish for, this is my classic take on a French dish. Cocoa bean, a big speck, from Escoffier, hundreds of years ago. So this is my classic take on a French dish that I serve here at the restaurant here at Harry's Harbor Place. Flip my skin over. See, I got a nice brown color on the skin, nice and crisp on top. My shallots, I'm going to give them a quick flip. They're starting to get a little bit of color on. I'm not looking for them to turn brown. I just want to get a little bit of color to get them started. As the chicken sears, I got my shallots in the pan. Now I'm going to add my fingerling potatoes. I have a little medley of fingerling potatoes here that I'll be adding into the pan. Going to cool the pan down just a little bit, but that'll be okay. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper into the pan now. As it cooks, I believe you got to add layers of seasoning to each step that you're doing, not season it at the end or season it all at the beginning. You have to add a little bit of seasoning every step of the way in order to make the dish taste perfect. That's the way I was taught. That's the way I believe it works. Give it a quick flip here. Then I have some wild mushrooms here. I have some nice fresh, I have some shiitakes, some domestic mushrooms, a little bit of portobello mushrooms, and I also have a little bit of oyster mushrooms as well. We're going to add this into our pan. And let that cook for a second. That's cooking. Put my chicken over again. You can see we're getting a nice sear on it. It's not too dark, not too light. Just perfect. You want a nice golden brown. You don't want to burn it because you don't want to burn anything. But just want a nice, perfect balance of that nice golden brown sear. A little bit with the flour and the seasoning that I put on there. The seasoning that I use for all my food. A little bit of ground sea salt, and I have tricolored peppercorns, pink peppercorns, pink peppercorns, green peppercorns, and black peppercorns. Toss it around just a little bit more. I have a little bit of chopped garlic here. Now the chopped garlic is a little bit fine, so that's why I'm adding it towards the end. I'm going to add my chopped garlic. It's about a tablespoon worth. Right now we're going to add, I have a little bit of red wine, which I'm going to deglaze the pan with. I'm using a Soupinant, or a Cabernet. You can use Merlot if you want. Any red wine will do. Traditionally it is made with Cabernet though. So I add about a good cup of wine to it. I'm going to toss that around a little bit. And you can see when I was sauteing it originally, the potatoes, everything starts sticking to the pan. As soon as you add the wine to it, it deglazes the pan, cools the pan down, and it releases all the the potatoes, the bacon, anything that might have been stuck to the bottom of the pan that was caramelizing on the bottom of the pan, it's now released, and now it's, you know, all that flavor that was on the bottom of the pan is now released. It's all cooking evenly in the dish. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this reduce down just a little bit, not very much though, because we have to finish this in the oven. So continue to stir it around just a little bit. And then what I have here, the final step of the dish, which I have pre-made, and it, I pre-make it because it takes me a little while to make. I have a demi-glaze, which takes about 24 hours to make. I make it in, at the restaurant here, I make it in a 10-gallon batch at a time, which requires me to do a 40-gallon steam-injected kettle of it at a time to reduce down to 10 gallons. But this is the red wine stew that I have made. It's made with reduced Cabernet, veal stock, diced carrots, onion, and celery, and just a hint of brown sugar to give it a little bit of sweetness to it. I'm going to add this to the dish now, along with the red wine. And you don't want to add this straight because it is thicker, and as the dish cooks down in the oven, the sauce will continue to get thicker and thicker and thicker, and it'll then form a nice glaze over the chicken, over the potatoes, over everything. We're going to give it a little toss here, and we're ready to go in the oven now, so I'm going to fire this right in the oven, 350 degrees, about 18 minutes, and it'll be ready to go. After we just pull it out of the oven, you can see all of our ingredients have all melded together now, being in the oven for about 18 minutes, and then sauteing them the way we did. You know, all the flavors have melded together. Your bacon, your shallot, your mushrooms, your garlic, the red wine, everything infused together. The red wine is almost stained the chicken red. You know, the potatoes are stained red. Our shallots are caramelized, nice and soft, just the way we wanted them. We'll start by plating it up. I have a nice clear glass plate here, platter if you will. Take the shallots, put them on either end of the dish. Dish right here. Put my chicken down. Take our nice stew here, and we're going to put it right down the center of the plate. That's what the coq au vin is. It's a classic French stew. It's a classic French farmhouse country dish. Good, hearty, you know, in the wintertime. Perfect for a dish in January. Perfect for the wintertime when it's cool, cold. You know, I'm thinking coq au vin, and what can get more perfect than coq au vin in the wintertime? I don't think anything can. Dirty pan down there for the dishwasher. We got our basic plate up right here. We got our shallots on either side. We got our stew on the bottom, and we got our chicken, which is cooked perfectly in the stew. Now for a final garnish, final touch on the dish, we add a little bit more of our twisted beets that we have right here. And I love beets. I use them in a lot of dishes, and I use them a lot in garnish. And to get the nice crisp twist, what I do is I cut them in a spiral cutter, and I soak them in a little bit of ice water, and they come up nice, crisp, and they stay nice and curled. And then what I'm going to do is I have a little bit of crispy shallots here, which I deep fried. We're going to put our crispy shallots here, right on top of the dish. We're going to garnish it with a little sprig of rosemary right here. If I can find the perfect sprig that I'm looking for, and I think I did right here. I'm going to put a little sprig of rosemary there sticking off the side of the dish. What we'll do is we'll throw a couple of these flowers here on either side of the dish. One here, one there. And there we go. Our French breast chicken, coq au vin style, here at Harry's Harbor Place Grill. Enjoy!